One of the most infamous cult-related events to ever occur involves a man named Jim Jones and his new religious movement termed the People's Temple. This racially focused communist cult claimed to reach a massive 20,000 members and could gather as many as 3,000 members with as little as 6 hours' notice. As they grew in size and scope, they were forced to accommodate as they bounced around California before landing in Guyana in 1974. It was here that the United States experienced the single greatest loss of American civilian life until 9/11. I'm Jake Storilli, and this Laughs from the Past.
Welcome to Laughs from the Past. We apologize that we missed a couple weeks there, but we were down in Florida on a spring training trip for our baseball podcast. We did not abandon you. We're back, and we're here to talk about some more cults, as you heard from Jake's fine introduction there. We are talking about the People's Temple, which was a cult based in Indiana, or at least started in Indiana, from a guy named James Thurman Jones, who had a little bit of Scottish in his ancestry.
Yeah, we're live in studio together.
Yes. First Laughs from the Past live in studio.
Live in the official studio. We've done it live a couple times. But, yeah, you told me you thought James Thurman Jones was Scottish, and you said it started in Indiana, so I said I'll do my Scottish Indiana accent, which wasn't one accent.
No, you just every other sentence.
It was a mixture.
Yeah, your Scottish ain't bad.
Scottish comes and goes.
I did say
Indiana. I just went Southern with it. I don't mean to offend the nice people of Indiana.
I did say I just read this line,
right,
which has no Scottish in it. Jones was Irish and Welsh descent, but he's from Indiana.
So it's kind of my Welsh accent.
Oh, no, you were doing Scottish.
Welsh and Scottish are very similar.
No, Welsh is just like a slurry, drunk Englishman.
Wow, shots fired.
Scottish is different.
I don't think the Welsh would fight it though.
They fight everyone.
Because they don't fight.
That's Scottish. It's good Scottish accent.
It's a Scottish Welsh.
Scottish has no connection to this.
I was born in the Welsh and then moved to Scotland, Indiana.
Okay. That was good. No Irish, though.
So what is this, though?
It's a cult, for sure.
Yes, the People's Temple. Do we like the name?
I do.
Okay.
I do kind of like the name, yeah.
It's kind of, I'll reference The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, the People's Champ. I mean, when you say you're for the people, that's as endearing as it gets.
Temple, Illuminati.
I might have to do something with that. The People's Idiot.
That's good.
That's pretty good.
The People's Dancer.
The People's Dancer. Dancer for the people.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll work on that.
Workshop it. We've both never heard of this cult, obviously, but it's the single.
I feel like Jim Jones is a name.
Jim James is a name. Jim James is a musician from Wilco.
No, but isn't Jim Jones like a known name?
Jim Jones Jr., is he the rapper? That's Roy Jones Jr.
It's Roy Jones Jr. There's Mike Jones. That's another rapper.
I think you're thinking of Jim James.
I feel like Jim Jones is kind of known. I don't know. We'll find out.
I mean, two common names.
Yeah, that's true.
And also, I think you're thinking of Jim James.
I've never heard of Jim James.
Well, you probably have because of You Lived With Me and Nick.
Sure.
We talked about him a lot.
You've probably heard of Jim Jones.
Jim James, stage name is Yim Yams.
Stuff.
I've never heard of Jim Jones or this cult before.
Okay.
But I will tell you right away that Jones was born on May 13th, 1931 in a rural area of Crate, Indiana, to James Thurman Jones. Makes sense. So that's his dad.
Yeah.
His dad was a World War I veteran, and Lynetta Putnam.
Lynetta. That's a nice name.
Lynetta?
Yeah.
Name your daughter that.
No, but I like it.
Jones was of Irish and Welsh descent.
Yeah.
He later claimed to be part Cherokee, but through his mother, he said, my mom got some Cherokee.
Right.
I know it. But his second cousin said that's not true.
Lie.
He just wanted some free textbooks to go to college, and then we all know it. Economic difficulties during the Great Depression led the family to Lynn, Indiana in 1934, where Jones grew up in a shack without plumbing.
Tough detail at the end.
Well, when you picture a shack, do you picture plumbing?
No.
Yeah, right? So kind of just adding on.
Is that an outhouse? Or was it in the house?
I don't know. It just seems like
know.
we're doubling down. Like when you say he grew up in a shack.
Rural Indiana in a shack.
He grew up with a shack
No
with
plumbing.
with no air
No
conditioning.
jacuzzi.
Jones was a voracious reader who studied Stalin, Marx, Mao, Gandhi, and Hitler.
The big five. You don't see those five lumped together too much.
Tough. Carefully noting
Gandhi, tough break, man.
Gandhi and Hitler, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. There's a lot of different learnings to be had there. Maybe that made him so dangerous.
Yeah.
Carefully noting the strengths and weaknesses of each. He also developed an intense interest in religion. One writer suggests this was primarily because he found it difficult to make friends. He's reading like way too often to make friends.
Tough break.
And he can't invite him over to his house. Doesn't even have plumbing.
No friends. Let me check out this Hitler book.
That's how it starts, Jake.
It's a red flag. If you're the parent, you got to step in there.
Yeah.
That's a big red flag.
Childhood acquaintances recalled Childhood acquaintances recalled him as a really weird kid.
I shouldn't be laughing at that, but
who was obsessed with religion and death.
do you think kids can be like born evil?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know a couple.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I know one.
Damn.
Ah, yeah.
Heavy.
I mean, that's kind of rude.
A little bit.
Childhood acquaintances. Hey, did you know about Jim Jones? Oh, yeah, really weird kid. He's obsessed with religion and death.
Yeah.
Damn. They alleged that he frequently held funerals for small animals on his parents' property and that he stabbed a cat to death.
I mean, these
Wait, so if he's
are
killing...
all the red flags.
Yeah, he's kind of like writing the book on red
Yeah.
flags. If only they had fucking plumbing, you know?
Yeah. Maybe it was the plumbing.
I mean, you can only shit on your own feet so often.
Yeah, he didn't have plumbing. What do you think? It was the plumbing or the kid reading Stalin, Marx, Mao, and Hitler, leaving Gandhi out of it?
I'm
for
interested in the fact that he had funerals for the cats that he was killing.
So that's an interesting twist. So, okay, you have a kid, they're killing animals, it's a bad time.
Yeah.
And you have to go talk to them.
Then he's showing...
What if he's hosting really nice, touching funerals?
Yeah, I think he is. I mean, you're not going to hold a shitty funeral. You're just not going to have a funeral then.
Right? Like they would have left that detail out.
Yeah.
Just like really nice funerals.
Have you seen the movie Garden State?
I have not.
With Zach Braff and Natalie Portman?
No.
Oh, well.
Sorry.
Her family goes through a lot of hamsters.
It's a good film.
And they have short lives, you know.
Yeah.
So she has like a pet cemetery in her backyard for just all the hamsters. And that's what it reminds me of. But she wasn't killing them. It was
No.
like natural deaths.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway. Jones and his childhood friend both claimed his father was associated with the Ku Klux Klan, which had gained a stronghold in Depression-era Indiana. Jones recounted how he and his father clashed on the issue of race and how he did not speak with his father for many, many years after he refused to allow one of Jones's black friends into the house. Jones' parents separated and Jones moved in with his mother to Richmond, Indiana. In December 1948, he graduated from Richmond High School early with honors.
Well, hey.
I mean, he got out of the no plumbing house with his KKK father.
Yeah, so he's kind of a good guy there. He had black friends, and then he graduated early with honors.
I think they told him to leave and just said, you did good.
Yeah.
1948.
Get this kid out of the school.
Yeah. Actually, dude, A+.
Yeah. You're doing great.
Another A+.
Yeah, you could skip a year.
Yeah, let's accelerate you out of this school.
It's tough. Sorry if you're listening, Jim.
Jones married nurse Marceline, did I ever say that?
I guess so.
Baldwin.
Marcellini?
Marceline. In 1949. He graduated high school in 1948? Okay. And he graduated early.
Yeah.
How the fuck old is he when he got married?
I'm guessing
He was born in 1931.
17.
31, 18. 18 years old.
Not bad.
They moved to Bloomington, Indiana. She died with him in Jonestown. That's a spoiler.
Yeah. Didn't really
spoiled
lead
the
us on
whole
with that
fucking
one.
story there. He attended Indiana University in Bloomington, where he was impressed with a speech by Eleanor Roosevelt about the plight of African Americans. In 1951, the couple moved to Indianapolis. Jones attended night school at Butler University, earning a degree in secondary education in 1961, 10 years after enrolling. So up until this point,
We've had a nice development.
Yeah.
We were ripping on Jim Jones's childhood pretty hard.
well, I mean,
We went in on him because they gave us all the material too.
He was 0 to 10. Seems like he's a punk.
But I mean, he turns it around. He graduates high school early. He's fighting for equal rights. He gets a college degree. He's married. We find out she later dies, which seems like that information was given to us too early in the story.
Way too early.
But okay,
Eleanor Roosevelt. Do you remember when I asked my grandma on an episode Last from the Past, like season 1 or 2? I asked my grandma what she thought about Eleanor Roosevelt.
I vaguely remember this. Yeah.
Her only response was ugly.
Yeah, that was tough. Me and Eleanor share the same birthday, so there's some parallels there.
Yep. Anyone else born on that day? Don't look in the mirror.
Ooh, is October 11th an ugly birthday day?
I think so.
I'll go look it up. Ooh, Michelle Wee.
Jake. Anyway.
Love Michelle Wee. I think she's hot.
Okay. All right. The next section of this.
Pretty, gorgeous. I don't know. Anyways.
The next section of this story is called Rainbow Family.
Okay.
Jones and his wife. Oh my God. Are they mean rainbow as like multicolored?
Cardi B is 27. Perfect. Has my birthday. I just found that out. Rainbow Family.
I think they're meaning he adopted a bunch of multi-race and colored children.
I think we're about to find out.
Yeah, he adopted several non-white children. He referred to the household as his rainbow family and stated, "Integration is a more personal thing with me now. It's a question of my son's future." He also portrayed the temple as a rainbow family.
So are you freaked out by this?
Yeah, yes. I think that's a really weird statement. Like, now I'm even more attached to the plight of African Americans because I have adopted this African American son. You shouldn't have needed that. That's weird to me.
Yeah, I kind of see what you're saying.
Like the son's like, did you adopt me because you wanted to raise and love me, or did you adopt me because it helps your plight?
Yeah, I see what you're saying a little bit. Yeah, it's a weird mix because I mean, if you wanted to raise and love me, like that's the goal, right? As you said, but I mean, in theory, color shouldn't be a matter there. So yeah, I guess trying to force it is weird. I don't know. It feels like there's still good intentions somewhere in here.
Hey, raising them with love, we're good. But this is a cult leader.
Yes.
So
right, but in theory, like we should be like what I was just about to say is I'm expecting a hard turn somewhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because right now we still have some good context. He's trying to kind of bring the world together in his own way. It feels a little weird. I agree, but.
Well,
we've taken good steps from killing cats and reading Hitler.
The couple also adopted 3 Korean-American children named Lou, Suzanne, and Stephanie, and he encouraged temple members to adopt orphans from war-ravaged Korea. He was also critical of U.S. opposition to communist leader Kim
Il-sung.
Yeah, he was critical of his invasion in South Korea. He called it a war of liberation, stating that South Korea is a living example of all that socialism in the North has become.
Dude, this is becoming a wild ride.
In 1954, he and his wife also adopted Agnes, who was part American Indian. Suzanne was adopted at age 6 in 1959. In June 1959, the couple had their only biological child, who they named Stephen Gandhi.
Yeah.
In 1961, they became the first white couple in Indiana to adopt a black child. They also adopted a son who was white named Tim. Tim's birth mother was a member of the People's Temple, and he was originally named Timothy Glenn Tupper. That's a good name, Tim Tupper.
So again, and that's where I was kind of going back to the Rainbow family, because you're right in what you're saying is it's weird to
Is he adopting these kids just to show everyone that he's adopting kids of color, or is he adopting them because he just find a child in need, loves them, and wants to give them a better life?
So I see what you're saying, but at the same time, like, we're knocking down walls. He's the first white couple to adopt a black kid.
Yeah, but also, like, that can be damaging if the first white man to adopt a black child becomes a cult leader.
A little bit. I see what you're saying. But the wall's knocked down.
Some assholes could be like, that's why we don't want it.
Well,
I don't know his intentions.
I don't think that plays.
I need to hear the rest of the story.
Okay.
There's a very sad case of this happening very recently in Oregon with two female parents.
Okay. Separate story.
Very sad. It was ringing,
Very
reminding me.
Okay.
Very sad. Very incredibly sad story.
Sounds like keep it out of here.
I'm out. We're not talking about it.
It's gone.
People's Temple origins. In the early 1950s, he began working as a self-ordained Christian minister in small churches around Indianapolis. In order to raise money to start a church of his own, the charismatic Jones tried various ventures, including selling live monkeys door to door. Who the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck? I mean,
What? What are you about to say?
How many did he sell?
Look in the mirror, Ace. Because you're the one that's buying a monkey. And I'm buying a monkey too.
I am not buying a monkey.
You're buying a monkey.
I am slamming the door shut.
You're a family man.
I am.
Your kids are wailing. They love that monkey. They love that monkey. Dad, get me that monkey.
I am slamming the door shut on the monkey.
You have a monkey in your house.
That was fucking scary. I wouldn't leave. Wouldn't leave the bedroom. Fuck that. Jones was surprised when a Methodist district superintendent helped him get a start in the church, even though he knew Jones to be a communist. In 1952, he became a student pastor at Somerset Southside Methodist Church, but later claimed he left the church because its leaders barred him from integrating blacks into his congregation. Around this time, Jones witnessed a faith-healing service at the Seventh-day Baptist Church. He observed that it attracted people and their money, and he concluded that he could accomplish his social goals with financial resources from such services. I mean, we're just putting him up and up.
Yeah, I think you're
going to come crashing down.
Exactly. You've got too much of a wall up right now. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the rise up.
I'm worried for everyone
There's things with good intentions. Yes, it's going to come crumbling down.
I'm worried for the people
Maybe
jumping
he gets
on his train.
hit in the head with a bat, and you're going to be like sad for Jim Jones or something.
Jones organized a mammoth religious convention to take place June 11th through 15th, 1956 in Cattle Tabernacle?
Tabernacle's a pretty good word, huh?
Oh, yeah. Real fun to say.
Would you like to buy a monkey?
No.
Excuse me, sir?
This one right here.
We live in Indiana.
Where was he getting the monkeys from?
Don't ask that question. Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answers to.
He needed a well-known religious figure to draw crowds, so he arranged to share the pulpit with Reverend William M. Branham, a healing evangelist and religious author who was as highly revered as Oral Roberts.
Wow.
Jones was able to launch his own church following the convention, which had various names until it became the People's Temple Christian Church Full Gospel.
Nice. PTCCFG.
It's too many names.
Yeah.
The People's Temple was initially an interracial mission. Initially. Oh, boy. Jones was known to regularly study Adolf Hitler and Father Divine to learn how to manipulate members of the cult. Divine told Jones personally, find an enemy and make sure they know who the enemy is, as it will unify those in the group and make them subservient to him. Yeah.
Is that the Jerry Gergich effect?
Yeah, I mean, it's the Herb Brooks effect.
Right.
Common enemy. Herman Boone.
No, but he's saying someone in the group.
No, I think he's just saying like you could say like corporate America.
Oh, okay.
Or the Jewish people.
Okay, then it's not the Jerry Gurich effect.
No. You wanted him to out
Yes, that's what I thought it was. I thought they found find an enemy inside the cult and rip on them so they all feel better.
I don't think so.
No.
Well, no.
I think you're right.
Okay. In December 1963, he moved to California and told his Indiana congregation the world would be engulfed by a nuclear war on July 15th, 1967.
Yes.
Leading to a new socialist Eden on Earth, and that the temple had to move to Northern California for safety. Accordingly...
Again, you got to be more careful with these timelines. You're only giving yourself a 4-year window there.
The temple began moving to Redwood Valley, California, near the city of Ukiah.
Ever been?
I've been to the Redwood Forest, so maybe I've been up there.
Okay.
I don't know. According to religious studies professor Catherine Wessinger, Jones always spoke of the social gospel's virtues, but he chose to conceal that his gospel was actually communism until the late 60s. He also taught that those who remain drugged with the opiate of religion had to be brought to enlightenment, socialism. He often mixed these ideas, such as preaching that if you're born in capitalist America, racist America, fascist America, then you're born in sin. But if you're born in socialism, you were not born in sin. So the dude's just a communist. He's just dressing his socialist communist ways in a lot of different things. I mean, communism is American society doesn't embrace it, but it's not like always the end of the world. There's some countries that do it and are all right. Small ones.
Yeah. Again, we're starting to see the reading come back into play, which is a little worrisome.
Still on the Hitler. You would hope the adult guy was more into Gandhi.
Yeah, you got to wonder. I mean, named his kid the middle name Gandhi.
Yeah.
You'd like to see him lean that way.
They called him Gons for short.
Gons.
Yeah.
What was the first name?
Steven, with a PH.
Right.
Nerd.
Steph Gons. Okay.
Former Temple member Hugh Fortson Jr. quoted him as saying, "What you need to believe in is what you can see. If you see me as your friend, I'll be your friend. As you see me as your father, I'll be your father. For those of you that don't have a father, if you see me as your savior, I'll be your savior. And if you see me as your God, I'll be your God."
And this is kind of what all of these cults from this time period are built on, is a lot of people trying to find themselves or looking for a father figure. So, yeah, I mean, you literally see the escalation there. If you need a friend, I'll be your friend. Need a father? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Savior? Yeah.
You're appealing to everyone.
God? If you need that, I'll be your God.
Sir, I just would really like a pet. I'm there.
Do you still sell the monkeys?
I'll be your monkey.
I'll be your monkey.
That's how you get people. So then they started
I think
to grow.
anyone was ever like, "Hey, I'll be your God." No, that's not how this works.
I need a servant, sir.
Why would I ever want that?
Yeah, it's tough. It's good. Despite exaggerated claims by the temple of 20,000 or more members, one source claims its greatest actual registered membership was around 3,000. However, 5,000 individual membership card photos were located in temple records after its dissolution.
It's good. ID cards.
Regardless of its official membership, the temple also regularly drew 3,000 people to its San Francisco services alone. Of particular interest to politicians was the temple's ability to produce 2,000 people for work or attendance in San Francisco on only 6 hours' notice. Politicians were like, "Oh, that's a lot of votes."
What was the 6 hours notice?
Like if they're like, "Hey, we're having church tonight at 6," and they send that out at noon.
Right. The send that out is what's getting me.
Yeah. You don't know how they sent it out?
No.
Word of mouth, I think.
Okay. That's what I'm wondering.
Maybe a radio ad.
Because I guess that is how it's so impressive.
I would guess it was a phone chain. Do you remember those when we were little?
Oh, yeah. I mean, were phone chains ripping among hippies and cults in the 70s? I don't think so.
I wonder if BBD even knows what a phone chain is.
It might be.
He's shaking his head no. Like when we were in elementary school, if school was canceled for the day.
Like soccer practice got canceled.
My mom would get a call, and then she would have
I'd call Jimmy.
And then
Jimmy call you.
But they would hand it to you.
Right.
A list, a web. And so my mom would get a call, and then she'd have 4 names under her, and she'd have to call those 4, and then they'd have 4. And that's how, no internet, so that's how it got passed down, that school was delayed or something like that.
Crazy. No,
Yeah.
times are different.
Okay, where was I in this? By the mid-1970s, in addition to its locations in Redwood Valley, L.A., San Francisco, the People's Temple had established satellite congregations in almost a dozen other California cities. Jones mentioned locations in San Francisco, Los Angeles, blah, 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 blah. The temple also maintained a branch, college tuition program, and dormitory at Santa Rosa Junior College. I've been there.
Nice.
At the same time, Jones and his church earned a reputation for aiding the city's poorest citizens.
It's good.
Especially racial minorities, drug addicts, and the homeless. The People's Temple made strong connections to the California state welfare. During the 1970s, the People's Temple owned and ran at least 9 residential care homes for the elderly, 6 homes for foster children, and a state-licensed 40-acre ranch. All right, so here's where we're at.
Tell me where you're at.
I'm scared of this dude because there's a lot of red flags.
Yes.
There's a ton of red flags, and as the story continues, I think we'll see those. But you're right. As of right now, he kind of just runs a weird church. Like, this is no different than a regular old Christian church.
And if we weren't told, and I mean, I guess we had to be told that he read.
I mean, there's the end of the world part of his church, which that's a little different.
Right. But again, that's kind of what makes it exciting. But yeah, if we didn't know the childhood about killing animals, and again, we think the funerals were nice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of you go either way on that. But yeah, again, reading the books of basically every bad guy of that time period, and Gandhi. But no, I mean, things. That's why I want you to come on the drop with me, because I'm enjoying the ride right now. We've got elderly homes. We got foster homes. We're helping people with disabilities. We are riding high right now. I'm in this cult.
I'm scared.
I'm in this cult.
Yeah, you are.
And I'm ready.
Well, you're not, because you have to commit to a lot of, like, being there.
It'd be a lot.
Like, you get that fucking phone call.
Oh, God.
What's going on? You went this headphone, now you're going the other headphone?
Ears.
They hurt?
Yeah.
That's weird, man.
Sorry.
You're taking...
I don't know what you want to hear.
So you're doing, like, one timeout at a time?
Kind of.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Some defections occurred, especially in 1973 when 8 young members, known as the Gang of 8,
Sweet.
defected together. Because the Gang of 8 were aware of threats to potential defectors, they suspected Jones would send a search party to look for them. Their fears proved correct. Jones employed multiple search parties, including one which scanned highways from a rented airplane. The Gang of 8 drove 3 trucks loaded with firearms towards Canada, avoiding U.S. Highway 101. Because they feared taking firearms over the U.S.-Canada border, the Gang of 8 traveled instead to the hills of Montana, where they wrote a long letter documenting their complaints.
Gang of 8 kind of sounds fun.
Why did they defect?
That's, again, I don't really know.
I don't get it. Like, we don't know why they defected, but we knew that they'd be scared.
Yes.
Anyway, former Temple member Jeannie Mills later wrote that Jones called 30 members to his home and forebodingly declared that, in light of mass defection, in order to keep our
Cool, you just killed everyone you know.
No, he's blaming it on society.
But I think it's a low-key jab to make the Gang of 8 feel sad.
He's saying, like, America at the time didn't like socialism, right?
Right.
They didn't want socialism around.
Yeah.
So he thinks that if they all kill themselves and they leave a note saying, because of your harassment, a socialist group cannot exist at the time, he'll win.
Yeah.
But in reality, he's proving their point flawlessly.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, read more books, dude.
Yeah, it's getting the people thinking.
Jones became furious, waving a pistol in his planning commission and referring to the Gang of 8 as, what the fuck, Trotskyite defectors.
Yeah, it's from Marx.
And Coca-Cola revolutionaries. I like that one. While the temple did not execute the suicide plan Jones described, it did conduct fake suicide rituals in the years that followed.
So, hey.
Damn. How many more pages we got of this? All right. How do you pronounce this? Guyana?
It's around there.
In 1974, the People's Temple signed a lease to rent land in Guyana.
Big move.
The community created on this property was called the People's Temple Agricultural Project, or informally, Jonestown. That's much better.
Yeah.
It had as few as 50 residents in 1977.
People's Temple Agriculture Project could be PTAP, though. And I'm PTAP over Jonestown.
PTAP, okay. What about the People's Tap?
Yeah.
That's cool.
If that was a bar, you'd go in.
Oh, yeah. There should be a bar. That's a bar somewhere.
People's Tap?
Yeah, it's a bar somewhere. Jones saw Jonestown as both a socialist paradise and a sanctuary from media scrutiny that had started with the kin-solving articles. Former Temple member Tim Carter said the Temple moved to Jonestown because in '74 we saw what the United States was creeping fascism. What? Carter later explained, it was apparent that corporations or the multinationals were getting much larger. Their influence was growing within the government, and the United States is a racist place. Carter said the Temple concluded that Guyana was a place in a black country where our black members could live in peace. It was a socialist government, and it was the only English-speaking country in South America.
Okay, update. Guyana's in South America.
Yep.
B, where's the drugs and the sex?
There's been no drugs and sex in this cult so
And
far.
I mean, that's usually what reels me in with the cults.
Yeah. No, this is just like helping people in need and thinking society doesn't like you, so then being upset about that. I don't know. After Jones left for Guyana, he encouraged Temple members to follow him there. The population grew to over 900 people, and those who moved there were promised a tropical paradise free from the supposed wickedness of the outside world. I mean, he's providing an escape. That's cool. On November 17th, 1978, Leo Ryan, a U.S. congressman from the San Francisco area investigating claims of abuse within the People's Temple, visited Jonestown. During Ryan's visit, a number of Temple members expressed a desire to leave with him, and on November 18th, they accompanied Ryan to the local airstrip at Port Katuma, where they were intercepted by self-styled Temple security guards who opened fire on the group, killing Ryan, 3 journalists, and 1 of the defectors. A few seconds of gunfire from the incident were captured on video by Bob Brown, one of the journalists killed in the attack. That evening in Jonestown, Jones ordered his congregation to drink a concoction of cyanide-laced grape-flavored Flavor-Aid. Even Kool-Aid. I forgot Flavor-Aid existed.
Yeah. So this is crazy. This is just the biggest case of like, if you're not with us, you're against us?
Yeah, but they're not even doing anything that's crazy.
Right, like the biggest thing that has freaked out this group of people that's kind of doing good stuff is if you defect. Currently that's the only trigger. The Engaged 8 or whoever they are, we still don't really know what that was.
They were smart.
They just left with guns.
Gang of 8 made out like bandits.
And then this guy, we have a government official and a couple people that are ready to leave, and they're slaughtered. And then because they slaughtered them, we're all going to kill ourselves.
This guy just wanted to do mass suicide.
You think so?
I think so.
Oh, tough next line.
In all, 918 people died. They did it? Yeah. Including 276 children. Fuck that.
Yeah.
It was the greatest single loss of American civilian life in a deliberate act until the events of September 11th. This includes 4 that died at the Temple headquarters in Georgetown that night. People remote did it too?
Yeah.
The mass suicide became one of the best-known events in U.S. history as measured by the Gallup poll and appeared on the cover of several newspapers and magazines, including Time, for months. In addition, according to various press reports, after the Jonestown suicide, surviving Temple members in the U.S. announced their fears of being targeted by a hit squad of Jonestown survivors. Similarly, in 1979, the Associated Press reported a U.S. congressional aides claimed that there were 120 white, brainwashed assassins out from Jonestown awaiting the trigger word to pick up their hit. Who are they waiting the trigger from? They all died.
So I don't think everyone drank the Kool-Aid. That's what they're saying.
Damn it.
Or maybe some people just took a sip and survived. Like, how much cyanide does it take to kill a human?
Don't know.
I'm not familiar.
Temple insider Michael Prokes, who had been ordered to deliver a suitcase containing Temple funds to be transferred to the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, committed suicide in March of 1979, 4 months after the Jonestown incident. In the days leading up to his death, he sent notes to several people, together with a 30-page statement that he had written about People's Temple. It was reprinted for a press conference in California. What the fuck? Herb Caen reprinted one copy in his San Francisco Chronicle column. Prokes then arranged for a press conference in a Modesto, California motel room, during which he read a statement to the 8 reporters who attended, then excused himself, entered a restroom, and fatally shot himself in the head. So they're just like suicide to the death. That's how it works usually.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, it's the people in this cult
they were brainwashed. Because I don't even know what they're fighting for.
Exactly. And the things that you could list that they're fighting for are supposedly good things.
Yeah, they were fighting for equality and like helping out. What the fuck is this?
I think this is just a cult for suicidal people.
I think it was
that were just looking for an excuse.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it doesn't make any sense.
It was like, bring me your poor, bring me your depressed, bring me your injustice.
I mean, think about, okay.
Makes no sense, man.
So this guy is one of the few survivors. He's supposed to deliver a suitcase of funds to the Communist Party, which, again, I don't think we're very friendly with them in 79. Am I right?
No. You're correct.
That's 4 months after the mass suicide. And then he sent notes to several people with a 30-page statement he wrote about the temple. One copy gets printed, so that guy arranges a press conference. He reads a statement and then kills himself. What?
Just spreading the word and dying. Like, that's the whole thing, I guess. I think their whole thing was like, you did this to us. And it's like, well, no.
Is their whole goal to just make us question stuff? Because I think they did a good job.
Maybe. Jones, so then after the fact, there's a lot of stuff that comes out about his sexuality. So he married Marceline Baldwin when they were 18 years old. He began his first affair in 1968, so he was loyally married for 20 years, with a woman named Carolyn Layton. He also had many other mistresses during the 70s, both before the move to Jonestown and while in Jonestown. The book, The Road to Jonestown, states Jones had occasional sex with male followers, but never as often as he did with women. He was likely bisexual, but he liked women more. On December 13th, 1973, Jones was arrested and charged with lewd conduct for masturbating in a movie theater restroom near MacArthur Park in L.A. The decoy was an undercover Los Angeles police, was a vice officer for the L.A. police. Jones is on record as later telling his followers he was the only true heterosexual. But at least one account exists of his sexual abuse of a male member of his congregation in front of others, ostensibly to prove the man's own. Oh, so he did the old, look how gay this dude is. He's going to let me fuck him in the ass.
Yeah.
Then he raped him in front of people and was like, look at this gay guy.
Yeah. He detested engaging in homosexual activity and did so only for the male temple adherents' own good, to connect them symbolically with him. So, yeah, we've got a...
No, I mean, he did prove that one guy was gay.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. I'm having sex with him. It makes him gay. I'm just doing this to prove that he's gay. I'm not gay.
Would you look at this?
Would you look at this gay guy?
Oh, my God.
Not me.
Imagine if I was doing this.
Imagine that's the only way he thought he could have sex with men. It was like he had to make a point.
All right, what's a good cover?
So every time he did it, it was on stage in front of people.
It'll be like, document it.
Does this whole thing where he's like,
do you think I like this?
I'm going to have to fuck this guy again, huh?
Great.
You guys better sit down and watch. I'm going to have to prove
here
how
we
gay
go.
Bob is. Hey, Bob, come here. And then bangs him, and then he's
God.
like, "Oh, I didn't enjoy a second of that." That was
God, look how much that sucked.
Yeah.
I hope I don't have to do that again, but I've heard there's been a lot going on around here.
Yeah.
So I might have to make another example.
If you guys see another gay guy out here, you better show him my way, and I'll let you know how gay he is by fucking him.
Oldest trick in the book.
So, good job, Jim Jones. Following the mass murder-suicide, Jones was found dead on the floor. He was resting on a pillow near his deck chair with a gunshot wound to his head. Suicide.
Couldn't just drink the Kool-Aid too?
Why didn't he just drink the Kool-Aid?
Jeez.
Jones's son, Stephen Gandhi, believes his father may have directed someone else to shoot him, but that is speculation. Who cares, man?
Yeah, over it.
Hold on. An autopsy of Jones' body also showed levels of the barbiturate pentobarbital, which may have been lethal to humans who had not developed a tolerance. So he was like slowly taking this poison. A sign could be seen hanging above Jones' deck chair. Jones had borrowed a quote from George Santayana. And his quote was, "Those who do not remember the past are condemned to repeat it."
Yeah.
So remember this cult that kind of stood for nothing and killed themselves for no reason, and don't repeat it. I'm there. I haven't Googled what this guy looks like yet.
They kind of stood for good things, but if you defected, you were going to bring down their whole ecosystem. I don't know, man. Where's the drugs?
He looks creepy. He kind of looks like a blind sleazeball. Oh, man, dude. Oh, pick with him and all his kids.
He's a little odd looking.
Yeah. I mean, he wears the glasses all the time.
Yeah, I think that...
And he's got, like, the fake
That
hair.
hairstyle of the time isn't helping him. But yeah, the Kool-Aid at Jonestown, I mean, that's...
That guy looks like...
Yeah.
You don't want to talk to him.
No.
Like, you walk into like a car dealership and he's the only salesman, you just turn around and walk out.
If he's not an incredible musician, you'd never speak to that guy.
He's got to be famous for something artistry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, kind of is.
No. I wouldn't say it's an art. And the pictures with all his kids are creepy as fuck.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, knowing what we know. Oh, my God, here's a picture with him and two monkeys. You seeing this?
I'm not. Oh, yeah.
Dude, they're gross monkeys. Like, if that's the monkey you're selling me at my doorstep,
Yeah.
I'm fucking out.
Your kids love those monkeys.
That's gross.
You're going to love your kids so much, and your kids are going to love those monkeys.
It's like
You just bought one.
those are like half-sick baby monkeys. This dude's a creep.
You don't know if they're sick or not.
Half-sick, I said.
You're not well educated in monkey health.
I went to Indonesia once and saw a lot of monkeys, so
Okay. Follow up?
I know some shit. I know all about them. Gross. I don't know. This might have been the worst cult. Like, worst ending. Most people dead.
Yeah.
Least crazy what they stood for. Seems like no sex besides him banging dudes out to prove he's not gay.
Right. Yeah, those must have been... I wonder... Because, again, like, there's a chance this cult got me in. I would have liked a little more...
You would have been getting
drugs
banged.
and sex, yeah. But I wonder, were there a couple people in the back that are like, here goes Jim again, showing he's not gay by fucking another guy.
I think there's a lot of people clapping, like, Jim's not gay. Jim's not gay, as he's fucking a dude.
Yeah. Haven't been there.
Yet.
Yeah, we didn't get a lot on the wife. We just found out she died early. Like, was she normal? No. She was married to the cult leader.
She married him when
And
he was 18.
he was gay.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, come on about it.
Yeah.
Maybe she liked that. Maybe she was like, I don't know. Whole thing was weird. Cults, man, they really trip you up. You get to the end of the episode and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the cult could have roped me in with some of the good stuff. I, again, would have liked to see a little more drugs.
Do you feel bad for Flavor Aid? Like the other cult, they all bought Nikes and they killed themselves while wearing Nikes. I mean, do you think, all right, here's a better way to phrase it. Gatorade.
Did this end Flavor Aid?
Gatorade is hearing this going like, nah, nice.
Right.
Not us. We are not the drink of mass suicide.
Yeah.
And Flavor Aid can't really combat from that. Like in 1978, if there was a commercial and it was like Gatorade, not the drink of mass suicide. Flavor Aid can't make that same commercial.
Yeah. This was before the original. I think this is the original drink, the Kool-Aid. That's what the Wikipedia is telling me.
Oh, this is the first one.
Yeah.
They invented it.
Yeah.
What was the other one that we did?
That one was later on because they had like Nikes and stuff. So
yeah,
that was 80s, 90s.
Yeah. Well. Oh, man. You Google Flavor Aid images, and on like Etsy comes up a shirt with Jim Jones' face on it.
Yeah.
Like he's the face of Flavor Aid. And it says, I had a killer time at the Jim Jones Festival, Flavor Aid.
Yeah, that's a fun hipster shirt at a party.
I mean, you wear that shirt. It's $14.99 on Etsy. You wear that shirt, and someone says like, "Oh, what is that?" And then you have to explain it.
Yeah,
like you're
hipster cool, hipster chic.
No, I think it's a red flag if you buy that shirt, even if you think you're being funny and ironic.
Right.
I think you're still a beat off from normal society. I think anyone in normal society doesn't wear that shirt.
I don't know. I could see someone pushing the envelope and being like, this is edgy, right? And you'd be like, no, that just sucks.
Yeah, no, that's
just... It's a swing and a miss. It could be a swing and a miss by someone who's a member of society.
I think the only... So here's another one. Flavor Aid. Pre-sweetened soft drink mix plus add water. And it's got his face on it. I think the only way you can wear this shirt...
Because they think it's like mocking society.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you are a beat off from society if you wear this out in public. Here's the thing, Jake. The only time it's appropriate to wear this Flavor Aid Jim Jones shirt is if you are attending a theme party about mass suicides. Then it plays real well.
The only time. Yeah.
It plays perfect. I think that's the end of this episode.
I think so, yeah. Could have used
some sex,
drugs. Could have used like one more passionate thing.
I mean,
like even
the
if
way you're doing that makes me think you wanted more.
Well, no, not Jim Jones's passionate thing, but like a passionate cause.
Oh yeah, they needed something.
Yeah, like they needed something to get behind.
Like you sum this up, you're like the People's Temple. Yeah, dude, they're all about equality and equality for all, and that capitalism was bad and racism's bad.
Like it seems
and you're like,
they were
all right,
kind of
cool,
bored.
But also, 900 of them killed themselves.
Yeah.
How do you get from there to there?
Yeah. They needed like a hobby or something.
Make like a darts team, or like like every weekend should have had like a big tournament.
Like, yeah, they missed a step. Like you got all these people together. Like, what's the mission?
Do something fun.
And they did some nice stuff, but like if you have the guns and you have the cyanide to kill yourself, like you didn't have any other like mission going on.
You know what? You know what they really did? They really ruined Guyana for any other like white tourist group that wants to go visit.
Yeah.
Like, no, we don't really take white tourist groups from America anymore. Oh, why is that? Well, because 900 of them came and killed themselves. Yeah. Oh my God! Google image Guyana, beautiful.
A little bit of a black eye.
Beautiful, like river through the Amazon into a waterfall. I mean, I'll just end. This is a happy note to end it on it. Like, look how pretty this looks.
That waterfall looks pretty nice.
I'd love to go visit that, but then they're going to think I'm going to kill myself, so I can't go to Guyana anymore. Jim Jones ruined it.
Is Jamestown the name of a town there?
No, they called it Jonestown. Jamestown is the original Jamestown, like settlers to America.
Right. So it's Jonestown there.
Oh, you think like it still has that name?
That's what I'm wondering.
No way.
Like, no, right?
They couldn't have done that.
No. It brought up Port Kaituma, so maybe that's where it happened or something. But yeah. Yeah, I'm guessing Guyana has a bunch of nice beaches, right? It's along the water between Venezuela, French Guiana.
Oh. Do not.
I'm not going to look it up.
ever
Ever.
fucking Google Jonestown, Guyana, Google Images.
Oh, no.
Unless
Jimmy.
you just want to see the mass grave.
Thanks for listening.
Holy shit. I mean, all I did was Google image Jonestown, Guyana. I wanted to see maybe where it is on the map. Just fucking, I'm looking at 800 dead bodies on a lawn.
Yeah, not into that.
God damn it.
That was a big mistake.
This was Laughs from the Past. Thank you very much. We'll
Thank
see
you.
you next week.
See you next time.